Hello everyone. Today I present about Breaking Bad, unraveling influences and risks of user inputs to ChatGPT for game story generation. This is a joint work between Ritsumeikan University and University of Florence. Large language model, or LLM for short, has been utilized in various game contexts, in particularly for game content generation, for example, level generation or story generation. Study has been examining these kind of the influences and risks of accepting user input as a part of the input to the large language model in other contexts already. For example, accepting user input into the system may pose some of the risks that the model may generate harmful content due to the user instruction, or user may cause something called jailbreaking, which means that the model will not follow the guideline given by the system designer, and in this it will do something that it should not do. Finally, prompt injection. This is a way that user maliciously craft the input so that model will perform the unintended task. Therefore, it's really important that we properly investigate the influences and risks of the model, especially when it built into a system like the game or other complex systems. To do so, we divide our study into two phases. First, we generate a game story. This generation of the game story was also include a proxy for the user input. In this case, we prepare a list of the words. There are two lists. The first one is the positive sentiment words. Another one is negative sentiment words. And then we randomly sample some of the words built into the prompt, give it to the ChatGPT, our large language model in this case, and then finally it will generate a story. After it generates a story, we prepare another classification prompt and ask the ChatGPT to classify this generated story into one of three categories: positive, negative, or neutral. And we found that it's quite surprising, but the negative sentiment word is not exert much of the influence on the generated story ending as we expect to. It only generates 4 negative ending story and 1 neutral story ending. This could due to the fact that the model was designed in a way to prevent generating some content that may be considered harmful to the user. Therefore, it likely ignores those kind of words. Or another hypothesis could be that the negative sentiment word as standalone words may not be correctly interpreted by the model unless we put it into a proper context. The influence of the positive sentiment word tend to lead model to generate something revolve around kingdom and power. However, for the negative one, it also power, but in this context of the city in case of a kingdom, which is quite interesting. Next, let's talk about the issues. So we prepare some of the maliciously crafted prompt to perform the prompt injection and cause the jailbreaking. So as a warning here, there may be some disturbing content. First, in a normal conversation, when we instruct it to perform some of the content, the model will say that, "I'm sorry, but I cannot provide assistance or guidance on illegal, harmful, or unethical activities," which is the correct behavior that it should be. However, when we design a system in a way that but in terms of giving it the normal content as an inspiration for it to generate a story, we in this give it the maliciously crafted prompt and ask it to do the same activities previous slide. The model gladly follow the instruction and generate the harmful response, which is an issue here. So we propose some of the solution that might mitigate this kind of behavior. First, the content should be filtered before entering the system and after it generated. Next, rare token separators. By separating clearly which part is user input, and the model should not follow instruction in the user input. Finally, improvement in the training set or the alignment process may help further mitigate this kind of behavior upstream. And that's all from our work here. Thank you.